Wow,
Good morning,
Frank.
everybody.
Wow.
Wow, Frank.
What? Wow, what?
You didn't even let me finish my sentence.
We're gonna
You're
get
pressing
started
the button.
now.
I didn't
right
push
here.
the go button. You pushed the go button, not me.
I did not. I did
Well,
not.
that must have been Justine.
Siblings.
Just see, she's raising her hand.
Here it is.
Yeah,
They'll
so
sound
there
like
you go.
my son and daughter.
I get the power for one day. It just
So
seems
much
like,
love.
No.
All right. Well, great stuff, guys. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Loan Officer Breakfast Club, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. If you're here now, you're lucky because we're going to kick off right away. We're going to give everybody just maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and then we're just going to kick off because we do have Roberto Monaco in the house with us this morning. And he's got a little bit of a lengthy presentation, and we are going to get you the slides. Don't worry. It's going to come via email on the daily Loan Officer Breakfast Club email that we send out every single day. So it'll be part of that email will be a link to get them. So
what he's saying is, do not put slides in the chat.
you do not have to put slides in the chat today.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
put the words. We got you. Just
Yeah,
make sure you
it's-
get in the email.
Yeah, as long as you get
Everybody gets them. Everybody gets them.
it's coming to you. It's coming to you. No problem. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Let's see real quick. Let's just pick on somebody real quick, Steve, just to give 2 more minutes. We'll do 2 more minutes just to kind of get the blood flowing here. The juice is flowing. Just a quick win from someone.
Hey, can I ask?
Carl.
Hey,
what?
can I ask a question just real quick?
Maybe.
I need a flat. Let's call this a flash poll.
Flash poll. Ready? Go.
Okay,
What do you
yeah.
got?
No judgment. What's one thing that you know you should be doing, but yet you find yourself either not doing it or not doing it enough? Like, what's one thing you go, I know this would help me out. Whatever.
Yeah.
No judgment. No judgment.
I
what's-
think it's going to be pretty unanimous. It's follow-up, phone calls,
Okay.
lead generating,
Uh-huh.
more calls, follow-up,
Yeah.
past clients, social media, videos.
Social media videos.
Yeah.
Answering CRM callbacks. Okay.
Doors.
Interesting. Okay.
What's your poll for?
Just some stuff we're doing in our accountability group.
Yeah.
And just seeing if there's anything different, because we're seeing kind of sort of the same thing.
Yeah.
Was what they're the problem they solved. So realtor calls, set up more calls, realtor meeting. Interesting. All right, cool. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Roberto, man. How you doing, brother?
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? What's up?
The problem with having Roberto in, you get this handsome guy. He's smooth, he's suave, and then when he leaves,
It's like you and me and Steve.
I know it's like, and Kevin, and
It's like,
it's like
yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
I always feel so. I love that man, but I always feel so inadequate when I'm hanging around with him. So,
Come on.
In many ways.
in
All
many
right,
ways.
let's
So
get
grateful
to
to be
Roberto Monaco. He's got to get rolling because he's got a long presentation today. Let's bring him up. Roberto, go ahead, share your screen, do your presentations, razzle dazzle, us, my friends, and thank you.
Can you just like nod your heads if you can see my screen?
We
Yeah?
can see it. You're good.
All right, cool. So today I prepared something different. The last 2 times I came here, I talk about mindset. The first time I talk about storytelling. The second time, this is the third time come here. So today I want to talk about behavior science. So what is behavior science? Behavior science is all the communication research in the areas of communication, rhetoric, decision making, behavior economics, psychology, and how those studies that people spend literally hundreds of thousands of dollars and thousands of hours figure out how to use the research and how you apply to sales and communication. Right? So is a big field, and obviously today I have 25 minutes. So I want to share some very specific studies, and I want to give examples how to use as a loan officer when I'm communicating to a real estate agent and when I'm communicating to a consumer. Now, very important, I am not a loan officer. I'm not a loan officer, expert, trainer, coach. You guys are, right? So when I teach you the study here the strategy, so in your mind go, okay, I understand the study. Here's how I'm gonna apply. Now that I give you examples of application, so don't judge my application here, the script. I just give an idea so you can get, so 80% of the job is done. The 20% is you customize to your business. All right, so let's start. Number one, there's something called the expectation assimilation. That's the principle. And what the principle tells us that what people expect, all right, fundamentally changes what they actually perceive and experience. And they have done a study, the wine study. So basically, they got the same wine, 3 different groups, 3 different prices, and they put a brain scan on people. And they say which wine was better. Now, everybody chose the wine that was more expensive. And by the way, the parts of the brain, the pleasure center of the brain, light up when they saw the price, and they say, "Oh, this one tastes better," even though the wine is the same. How is that possible? If it's the same wine, how come someone say, "Hey, this wine is better"? Well, because the law of expectation, which means because they saw the price, unconsciously they're thinking, "Oh, that is more expensive, therefore this is better." Does that make sense? So how do you apply this law? There's different ways you can apply. So let's say, for example, you're doing a presentation for a real estate agent and you're having a coffee. I noticed that a lot of people, they want to have a coffee meeting. So at some point in your script, you can use the law of expectation. Let me walk you through what your next transaction with me actually feels like. When you introduce me, your buyer gets a fast, confident call. Within minutes, they will know exactly where they stand. You get updates at every milestone, clean, organized, predictable, right? And when you're writing the offer, you already have the numbers, the strategy, and the certainty to win. Now, obviously, this is an example you can customize, but now you're creating this expectation how the new or potential real estate partner can work with you. Now, how do you apply this strategy to the consumer? For example, here's what the next few days are going to look like. First, we'll get your pre-approval updated and clean. Then you know exactly what your payment looks like, what the price range fits comfortably, and where your strongest negotiation position is. When you start looking at homes, you feel confident instead of guessing. And the moment you find the one you love, you'll be ready, fast, simple, and stress-free. So the whole idea, I do this all the time, is that when you're obviously, you have to back it up. It's not only create expectation, and if you create expectation and you actually don't do that, it's bad. It's going to backfire. But just understand that before you actually you talk about your services, you can create expectations. So the law of expectation is real, it's powerful. There's a bunch of studies. So I do it when I pitch my services, my products. I always create, I call the pre-frame. I'm pre-framing and increasing the expectation. Now, so that's strategy number one. Strategy number two, most of the sales trainings that I've seen in 50 plus industries, they don't use this. They always talk about the pain and then the compelling future, right? They talk about the current situation, point A. They talk about the point B and the future, and they try to sell the future, which is great. Now, most professional salespeople, they don't use this. Now, communication research talks about the power of nostalgia. And nostalgia is this, when you reconnect you to the best part of your life, when you think about your memories, you growing up and you had a good memory with your parents, growing up as a kid, and maybe you're seeing that old picture, the old song, and you feel nostalgic. And when people feel in that nostalgic state, right, that state allows you for you to make easier choices. Your mindset, this research talks about you embrace change easily when you are in that state. There's a research done at the University of Southampton, and basically they ask participants to recall a nostalgic moment in their lives, and they've done many studies, and the conclusion was this: the participants, they had more optimism about the future, they're more motivated and willingness to act. That's what we want for consumers and real estate agents. They have a sense of meaning and connection. They have this emotional calmness and higher pain tolerance, which for us is not very applicable here. So how do you do that in a script, right? This is super simple. By the way, the cool thing about this behavioral science strategies, you don't have to change your format. You really don't. Pick up 1 and 2, just put on top of what the things you're doing. It's not a new script or a new sales system. No, you just add one thing here or one thing here, whatever the strategy makes sense to you. So for example, if I want to push the button of nostalgic, I can say something like, hey, let's say I'm talking to a realtor. Do you remember that feeling when you help your very first family get the keys to their home? Now, we all remember the first one, right? The mix of excitement, pride, and purpose. That's the energy I want to match with you on every client we serve together. So basically, I'm bringing back, and I'm not putting him in pain. I'm actually thinking about, do you remember that moment that like the first family you helped, or how cool you felt? Well, I want to duplicate that feeling all the time. How cool is that? So now I'm pushing the nostalgic button. Now let's say I'm speaking to consumer. Actually, there's another example for agent here. Think back to when you first got in real estate, when every open house felt like possibility and every client felt like a chance to make a difference.
If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time.
I love work with agents who still have that spark. It makes our collaboration feel meaningful, right? So the whole idea here, when you do when you push the button, you try to get them think about a positive memory in the past. Example, consumer. Do you remember the first time you look at home and you thought, wow, this could be ours? That feeling, excitement, hope, possibility is what I want to bring back for you. My job is to make this process feel just as meaningful and memorable as the moment, right? So let me pause here. So the whole idea, when you look at presentations, when you're having a coffee with a real estate agent, when you talk to a consumer, is just add a little line, ask a question, remember a time when, and then a positive memory, right? A real estate agent, the first deal, a consumer, maybe he had a house before, or maybe something that he feels nostalgic, and then you link back to what you're doing right now. So that's the second strategy. Third strategy, okay? So this one is crazy. There's something called heuristics, and heuristics explain to us how our brain makes decisions unconsciously. Because, okay, and there's a whole field if you want to study, it's called heuristics. H-E-U-R-I-S, heuristics, T-I-C-S. And what happens is this, because you make many decisions every day, right? What I'm gonna eat today, what kind of clothes I'm gonna wear, who I'm gonna call first. You have to make thousands of mini decisions a day. Our brain, to simplify our life, our brain makes these unconscious decisions, right? To actually save bandwidth so that you can have power and energy for the big decisions. Now, and communication scientists, they want to study the power of rhymes. So they developed this study, and they learn that rhyming phrases feel truer and more believable because the brain processes them more easily. Now, check this out. I'm gonna have you guys on a chat here, okay? Let me go back. Let me leave presentation mode here, and maybe you guys can you can put on a chat here. Do you remember if it doesn't fit and you must acquit, right? O.J. Simpson, the lawyer said, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit, and now everybody's like, yeah, you know. So the lawyer knew what he was doing, so he developed this power line. Now, so here are some of rhymes that I developed for you guys. Prep the file, save the trial. When we sync, deals don't sync, right? Good notes, strong quotes. Clarity wins prosperity. So the idea is that when you're communicating, you want to have your major statements, your major claims, your major points, and you can use a little ChatGPT, and you just say, transform this into a rhyme. I mean, and then you obviously you're not going to be rhyming 20 times in the first time you meet a real estate agent or a consumer, right? They're going to think you're crazy. But if you get like your major points, the main things that you want to communicate, just use ChatGPT and just say, go rhyme it, because you know that every time you transform a regular statement into a rhyme, becomes more believable. Another one, if you communicate tight, the deal stays right. Another one here, less stress, more success. Good prep, no misstep. Right loan, right home. If you review, we protect you. Right? So now this is a stretch one here. So the rhyme as a reason effect, that was that anything that comes with the rhyming, because there's something called process fluency. Process fluency feels like anything that's easy to understand feels more believable. That's what it's called, process fluency. Unconsciously, they did a study actually in a restaurant, and which is fascinating. So it was the same restaurant, same food, same server, half of the restaurant, the menus, they make sure the letters they were really hard to read. So when you read the menu, it's like hard to read. And the other part of the restaurant, when you order the menu, was super easy, clean, beautiful. So that one was easy to process. Guess which side of the restaurant ordered more food? Obviously, the one that was easy to read. Why? Because on the first menu, when the food information was hard to read, I had to use more brain power. So that's why this idea of process fluency, anything that is easy to understand will convert more. Very simple. So when you have a statement and you rhyme, right, for the brain is easy to understand, is more fluent, and is more believable. All right. Now, next, illusion of effort. Now, this one is a big one. People judge something as more valuable, right, higher quality, or more trustworthy when they believe significant effort went into it, even if the actual outcome is identical. They just did a research. They got this graph in Europe. They got this artist, and he drew 2 drawings, and then they went online and they say, hey, one was actually an artist did, the other one is AI. How much did you pay for? And even though it was the same guy who did both, people didn't know. And the drawing that was made by artists got valuated 2-3 times more, right? Because of the illusion of effort. Now, this is super simple, right? Super simple to implement. That's what I love about these strategies. You don't have to change your sales script. You don't have to change your sales process. You just add those little tools. And as I have been talking about, influencing is a stacking process, right? You add one little thing here, one little thing there, one little thing there. Eventually, your message becomes more persuasive. So how do we use that? Well, so this one, let me give this study. Participants saw the same piece of artwork, but they were told it took either 4 hours or 26 hours. So this is a different study. Here's what they found. The artwork described as taking more effort was rated as higher quality, more valuable, created by a more skilled artist. Now, was the same piece. Again, just like the wine, remember? So now he had the illusion of effort, because unconsciously, if you think like, wow, this person took a lot of time, right, to put this together. Therefore is worth more. Therefore is a higher quality, even though it's the same. So that's why when I go back into the concept of heuristics is how your brain makes decision. And because you have to make 1,000 decisions a day, your brain has this unconscious mechanism. Your brain is always making decisions without you thinking about it. And one of them is this one. Hey, this one has more, someone put more effort, which means is worth more. So how, as a loan officer, and you know the behavioral science, how do you apply to close more deals? Easy, all right? So let's say you're talking to a real estate agent, you can say something like, look, before I ever talk to our clients, I go through a 12-point prep process. Could be 12, 13, whatever, right? I recheck the market changes for the last 48 hours. I pre-run through different loan structures so your buyer has options, and I review underwriting overlays that could affect your deal. That way, when you introduce me, your clients immediately experience the level of professionalism you're known for. So a lot of times we have all this amazing process that we do, but we don't communicate because we don't think it's important. Now, obviously, you don't want to do a data dump on a real estate agent, but you want to communicate in a way that unconsciously you show, look, we put a lot of effort in our process, our system, right, to assure quality, to assure results. So that's one way to do it. Let's say you talk about with a consumer. How would you benefit from this strategy when you talk to the consumer? Most lenders will run your application through software and give you a one-size-fits-all quote. Now, what I do is different. Now I'm going to push that illusion of effort. I hand review your numbers. I run scenarios across different time frames, and I stress test your loan against rising rates so you understand the safest and most affordable path. It takes me more time, but ensures you get the best long-term outcomes, not just the fast approval. Again, it'll be like, wow, he actually takes more time to do it. Unconsciously takes more time, putting more effort according to communication research, right? People perceive of better, more expensive, not more expensive, the rates more valuable, right? So you want to use that as well. Now, next, I want to see what time I'm going here. Okay, I have 8 more minutes here. Freedom of choice, okay? Now, freedom of choice is very important in communication. A lot of us, sometimes we are so passionate about things, and when you communicate, it's almost like, look, if you wanted this outcome, you must do that. You have to do that. And sometimes, even though it may be true, right? It may be true that say, hey, you have to do it to get the result. But if you say that, or you come across that way, there's something called reactance. And reactance is when you remove someone's choice or freedom to act. That's psychological. The moment you say you have to do this, unconsciously goes, oh, no, I don't, right? And now they have this energy called reactance. They're going against. So they have done research about freedom of choice, and they ask people to do certain things, and all they said was, but you are free to decide, right? It's double compliance across tasks. So imagine you have 2 groups and say you gotta do the same tasks, but one group will say, look, ultimately you are free to decide if you wanna do this or not. When you add freedom of choice, you say, hey, in the end of the day, you have the power to decide. Now what happens? You give agency. What is agency? Agency is the capacity to act. We all need it. I need agency to act. And now you give me agency. Now, because if I don't feel like I have agency to say, Roberto, you have to do this. Now I don't have the agency. Now I'm going to have this other thing called reactance. Like, no, I don't. No, I don't have to. Right? So it's very important in sales. Very, very important in sales. So if you communicate to a real estate agent, you can say, look, every agent has their own style and their own preferred partners. Whether you choose to work with me on the next buyer or simply test me on a file, I'll support whatever pace feels right to you. So I'm going to give them a choice. Right? Let's say I'm talking to consumer. We can take this one of 2 ways. We can move fast and get you pre-approved today, or we can slow it down, walk through the numbers step by step, and move only when you feel ready. Either choice is perfectly fine. So you always want to give them agency. It's very important. It feels counterintuitive in sales, but you want to give the freedom of choice. Number 8, a couple more minutes. Now, healthcare, humor. I gotta update my slides here. Humor in sales is really important, guys. And they have done a bunch of research on humor. And and they done a studies. One of them was on compliance, and they have two groups, Group A and Group B. Group A, they deliver a training with no humor. Group B deliver a training with humor, and the training that had more humor was more effective. People like more. There's a great compliance, a great follow through. Humor is something hard to teach. Okay, Carl is great at it. If you hang out with Carl and Frank, they're great at it. Now, this is a resource for you. I read this book. I think it's a great book. Humor seriously. Why humor is a secret weapon in business. I'm not a funny guy. Humor is not about telling jokes. I use the way I use humor. I use a lot of self-deprecating humor. And then when I'm doing my talks and I make a mistake and people laugh, I capture. All right, that's my strategy. And then because I said something stupid, which I do sometimes, a lot of times actually, and then I capture. Now I'm going to reuse those moments many, many, many times. So the idea is that if you ever say something to a real estate agent, or if you ever say something to a consumer and you get a reaction, capture, and now is your strategy. And now we're going to use over and over and over again. All right. So for example, you can add those quick lines. Some lenders disappear the moment the file get tough. I'm the opposite. I basically move in. All right. If that lands, you can throw that little joke, that little line there. I know you have worked with lenders who have made you age 5 years doing that one transaction. I'm here to reverse your aging process. Right. If you're doing a talk, if you're doing a little presentation, you can throw a line. Let's say a consumer rates move up and down more than my dog when the doorbell rings, right? I'll help navigate it down the barking, right? Because people are always concerned about the rates. So you can do a little AI, come up with tell me a little joke about the rates going up and down, and then you're gonna have choices. So the key here is to become comfortable, do something that resonates with you. Obviously, don't stress about your credit score. I have seen scores that look like Powerball numbers, right? They still bought a house. So it's kind of like, so if you know people have this hesitation, they have the objection, go use AI, transform into a little joke that you feel comfortable, rehearse, and now becomes your thing, right? So now I want to stop here. I have one more. Actually, I'm going to stop just to be respectful of the time here, because I know we finish up at 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I think if you wanted to,
we just wish you'd put a little more content in this, Roberto. I mean, you've been talking for 20 minutes and I got nothing here. I just don't know. Dude, like we could have done this like 3 or 4 episodes just here. There's so much to decompress here. In fact, I'd like to go over some of these.
Let's go. Yeah.
Again, on a like the next time you're here, if you, which I hope is soon, and unpack some of these. Like the thing you said where, dude, the rhyme thing. That's so true.
Yeah.
That is, it's a jingle. Like we've known for years that a jingle.
For years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about you just, I tell you something else you just did. You explained to me why when I read somebody's Zoom invitation, and I can tell it was written by Chat GPT because it's got the little green check marks and and it's got too many emojis and everything. And every time I see one of those, go, oh, that's just crap. Even though it's fantastic copy.
Yeah.
But because I know they use Chat GPT, I discount it.
It's the effort, the illusion of effort. Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't know why I would put it off. Cause like I wouldn't even go to the Zoom. Cause I think, it's just a bunch of AI, all done by AI. I can do that on my own. But you just explained why I feel that way. Cause if I felt like they put some effort into it, it's more attractive to me. So it's very interesting stuff.
So let me share one more because I think this one is crazy. I have one more here, and then we can. So this one I think is crazy, really crazy. So there's something that they have done. This is called the be versus do framing. Okay, this is very important. When you frame behavior, right, as an identity, be a healthy person, for example, instead of like action, do this exercise, it dramatically increases commitment. Okay. And I'm going to show how to use this in your business. Now, They have done study with kids in Stanford. So, and they had these kids play, hey, go play, make a mess. And then it was time to clean up. They divide the room into half. And half the room, they say, hey, can you help clean the room? Verb. Can you help clean the room? And then the other framing was, can you be a helper? Identity. Can you be a helper into the room? Now, the helper, the identity helper, had twice as many compliant as, hey, just help. Crazy. By the way, I've seen more than 20 studies. One more. Studies, and I put the resources for you guys here. Studies on, do you think there's a difference between vote and be a voter, right? In California, 2008, turnout was 81% in the vote condition, 95% to be a voter, right? That means now is an identity. I see myself as a voter. The second study in New Jersey, turnout was 75% verb, 89% now identity. So this is like a 1 second shift, literally 5-second shift when you shift someone's identity, right? So how do you apply the strategy? Well, you name who they are or they want to be. B, you want to make sure it's believable, right? Because if you don't believe it, the person is not gonna work. And number 2, you connect directly to the behavior you want. For example, right? For example, let's say I'm doing with talk to a real estate agent. I say, look, now I want to frame the person as a market leader. Tell me one agent who doesn't want to be a market leader. All right? Now, obviously, again, if someone's starting out, you might not want to use that, right? But you say, look, you already view as one of the market leaders in our area, one of. Your clients feel the leadership from your first call to the closing table. When we co-manage a transaction, it positions you as the agent who always has the strongest team behind them. So I'm like, yeah, I am a market leader. Yeah, you know what? I need the strongest team. Let's say now how you create this identity for the consumer, right? Look, you're a financial leader in your family, the one who makes sure everything is stable and secure. Your kids or partner will benefit from the way you approach the decision. So let's map out the exact loan strategy that puts you in control, that keeps your family protected. Yeah, you know what? I am a financial leader in my family. So this one, that study they done they duplicated so many times. One study that I remember out of my head right now in London. Imagine your subway going to work busy, and a kid from a university say, "Hey, I am the local university here. I have a 125 question survey. Do you have a minute to answer?" People like, "No way, gotta go work." Then another group, right? Then different day, they approach the person, different people, obviously, they say, all they said was, you look like an intelligent person. Identity, right? Now, I'm a student here, I have a 125 question survey, can you help? Compliance double. So when you start incorporating those tiny things, the illusion of effort, Carlos said, the identity, right? And then eventually the rhyming jingle effect. If you haven't changed your sales process, all you've done, you create a rhyme, you add an identity, you add the illusion effort, eventually your message will convert more according to the science. So
Yeah, a lot of that's like the future casting and showing honor first. A lot of these things that we've been doing and working well, I just didn't know the science behind it. Now you've helped me put a name to a lot of this stuff. So real good. So, hey, you doing something? You doing something coming up, Roberto? Anything on the horizon?
yeah, February next year.
We're at
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Huh. Yeah, I do my things in Atlanta now. It's easy to fly in. It's super easy to fly.
Is there a pretty
area?
good,
Nice area.
is there a big airport there or something?
That's the best. I love it. Yeah.
Biggest airport, busiest airport in the world.
Is it really?
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the most,
Wow.
by the way, is the most organized. It's incredible.
It's amazing, and I love one of my favorite place in that airport is the downstairs where you can walk.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people take the train. They miss it.
Yeah.
You got to walk it. And Roberto, just FYI, if you walk from end to end, it's 1.1 miles.
Really?
Wow, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah,
I haven't done that
1.1
yet.
miles. Yeah, so I love it. So
That's
cool.
fascinating.
You're going to give us some information about when and where?
Yeah, I can send. Yeah, so the I have and by the way, if you guys are interested, I can do a little discount for you guys for being part of the call. Obviously, I wanna hook you guys up. So I have a class coming. I'll put the link here. If you guys are interested, I send you a discount coupon later. I just want to put the link so you guys can learn what I do. So I have it's the same class that Carl came. Basically, is a 2.5 day thing that I do. I put the link here, and all it is, we use storytelling, mindset, behavioral science to become a better presenter. That's the whole idea. So everything I've been talking about, a little bit of mindset, overcoming fear, imposter syndrome, messaging, storytelling.
What's the
behavioral
dates of it,
science.
Roberto? What's the dates of it? Do you have a date picked out yet?
Those dates are February 20th, 21st, and 2nd.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate that.
Cool. Right on, Roberto. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Super appreciate you being here as always.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Good stuff. We'll have you back again if that's okay. Can I bug you again?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Cool. Right on. Good stuff. Good stuff, team. So, and again, guys, you're all putting slides in there. Don't worry. It's just going to go out on today's email. There'll be a link on today's email where you can download Roberto's
There's a lot of
slides.
unpacking in this episode. This is like when I said this could have been 4 episodes, like it really could have been. Like we could go deep on any one of those.
Yeah, we can get one or two. We can get like 2 or 3. I just want to see if you guys are into those things,
Holy
Carl.
cow.
Like, because
Of course.
I like it because I'm more about sales, ethically selling. So I want to use, if someone spend 10 years studying something and prove that works, I want to model that and apply what I'm doing.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's my
sales
mindset.
is a science. Sales is absolutely a science.
100%.
I just attract statistics and probabilities was my favorite class I ever took in college. And I later found out it's exactly what sales are, and learning sales strategies and techniques is statistics and probabilities. And that's exactly what you just spelled out. It's just simple little, I found there's simple little tweaks that everybody thinks
Yeah.
that will change everything.
No,
And
we
it's-
don't. No, we don't.
It never, almost never. It's usually just these little simple tweaks, little tiny catalyst, a little drop of something. You know, you get a pitcher of water and you add one little drop of blue dye, and the whole thing turns
Oh,
blue.
I love that analogy. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, like, I want to acknowledge Carl and I work with, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people. Carl, you should have a book, but your book should be a metaphor selling. You're the way your brain works,
Yeah.
right? The brain works. Every time I'm gonna hang out, Carl, you come up with an analogy, like the drop.
You know why that is? Okay,
Charisma.
sorry. Yeah, and thank you. I appreciate that,
real.
brother. It means a lot coming from you. It does. No, I
No, but
I
let
hear
me
you.
tell you, I'm not trying to stroke your ego. This is real. Let me give you an example. There's a study, a guy who studied charisma all his career is a professor out of I think South Africa, and he broke down every speech of everybody who's charismatic, who's not, and they realized even he went back all the the presidents in the U.S. and they realized the presidents who get reelected use 3-4 times more analogies on his speeches than one who don't. So one characteristics of charismatic speakers is they use a lot of analogies and metaphors. So your one of your secret sauce, buddy, that I know we use a lot, is science back it up. So
You know why I do that though? I'll kid aside. I think in pictures. Like when I think a lot of people. I've studied about this. Most people think in words or phrases, and I don't. I see just a series of pictures in my head when maybe it's a lower intelligence form that sees.
no, but I would love. I don't have that muscle. I have the storytelling muscle.
Oh, for
I
sure.
can go into story, but that muscle of thinking analogy and come up something in spot. That's something that I'm currently working on because I think is a superpower.
Yeah. Well, good stuff, man. I always appreciate you so much. I want to get the recording of this and kind of dissect it a little bit and pick a couple of the topics and let's go deeper on
Yeah,
on
exactly.
some of these.
Yeah, I said, we guys have the slides to whatever whatever you guys want to get deep into it, we can get deep. Can go deeper for sure.
Because, dude, that nostalgia stuff, that's fast. I never
There's
thought
no
about that.
sales training, huh?
But I've never thought about that. As soon as you started talking about that, that's exactly what it is.
I studied different sales. Everybody talks about in sales. They talk about you connect someone, you understand the point A, the status quo, you understand the vision, and then you want to make sure this one is too painful. Here's going to be better. Okay. Traditional sales 101.
Yeah.
Very few. I haven't seen people going back to the moment and think about push the button. I don't know. Could be with pictures, could be with questions. So just adding that to the sales process, asking 2 or 3 questions. Remember the time when you got your license and
dude, you know what that is, man?
And you're so excited.
It's like you walk into the kitchen and I smell the cakes being made during Thanksgiving, and it takes me back to that time when I was a little boy and mom's making, and it just puts me in a better place. And that's the science behind this. So when you can get me, remember
and now in that place, when you feel that way, nostalgic,
yeah,
you make better decisions. You're more willing to take action, right? So it's like, how can we all here if you just focus on that one, different ways you can do that. You know what I mean?
Remember that time?
I'll have to back, pick up 1 or 2 things, and okay. What is 10 different ways you can come up with? Use nostalgia into a sales process. You know what I mean?
You know, Christian, one of the problems of having Roberto,
memories, nostalgia makes people act faster. Love it,
One of the problems of having Roberto in is now when we start to weave this stuff in with our routine, they're like, "Oh crap, that's just Roberto stuff. That's just what he's not that smart. He just I guarantee you'll see it.
I just started smart people, you know.
You'll hear a podcast episode. Remember that
what
time?
I love about this stuff is it keeps because we can be brilliant with mortgages. But in the end of the day, it's about communicating what we know, right? It's about, because if you don't know how to communicate, we know. And for me, when I learn new studies, I get excited because I'm like, keeps me fresh, keeps me
Well, I tell you one thing that somebody shared with me, actually, it was our friend Perry Belcher is the one that shared this with me, Roberto. He said, I just lost my train of thought. Because I was just thinking how wonderful that man was. Where was I going with that?
You're talking about the keep fresh and keep learning, keeping excited.
I lost it. Now, as soon as we get off here, it'll come to me. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I had this mental image of Perry, and just this wave of coolness came over me. And
when you remember, Carl, we'll put it.
I remember what it is. So usually it takes about 30 seconds. So he taught me a very valuable lesson. One of the most valuable lessons I ever learned in business. He said, because what you said is, hey, you can be a great loan officer and know all the mortgage stuff. It's not enough.
You can't communicate.
It's not enough. Yeah. Like these great loan officers that know all the guidelines and everything, which is awesome, right? I think that's a great thing. They get pissed off, and maybe rightfully so, when somebody that doesn't know that much is doing better, like selling more loans, and they don't know near as much as I know, right? Which is which is oftentimes true. What Perry taught me was, that list that's called the New York bestseller list, the New York Times bestseller list for books. Yeah. I go, yeah. He said, notice it's not called the best written books. It's called the best selling books. He said, so it's about 20% writing the book. It's about 80% marketing the book. And so learning these little quips, these little tricks, knowing the programs is very important. I'm not saying it's not. It is, and it really is. It's no least important for sure, or it's no more important than learning the craft of selling your product. So it's not 100%. It's not the car. It's the advertisement selling the car. I mean, that's 100%. Just beautiful. Yeah. You think of Budweiser, all those years at Budweiser, the Clydesdale and American flag and apple pie and mom and baseball and all that stuff. And it's just, dude, it's just piss water beer.
Yeah, it's funky beer.
It's not even that good.
It's pretty terrible.
Going back, there's another one. I had another behavioral science thing. It's called the exposure effect. I just had to trim down my talk today. But the exposure effects, there's a study where this professor put a bunch of nonsense, like symbols, stuff that means nothing, different groups. And then the groups who saw the symbols, nonsense more often, like the information better than people who saw the same information but last time. So he proves that if you get two people, right, with the same level of information, exactly the same, but this person here, people see more times, just more times.
Oh, for sure.
People want to trust more, like more, even though it's the same information.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's called the mere exposure effect. You know what I mean?
Do you know the? And I know we're way over, Frank, but you know the? Do you know the? I love talking to you, man. Do you know the 7-11-4 principle?
Is that a Google thing one? That's 7.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, go. I heard about. Can you remind me?
Yeah, and we can do a whole thing about this too. In fact, maybe we'll jump on a podcast to talk about this. Okay. So 7-11-4 is for Google found for somebody to buy.
Yeah.
They had to have 7 hours of exposure of you. Yeah. Right. So we've been on here for 45 minutes. This is 45 minutes of 7 hours. Right. Yeah. An email is 3 minutes. A video is 2 minutes. A presentation at the realtor's office is 60 minutes, right? You need 7 hours of exposure. You need it can't be 1 7 hour, because that's like dating somebody, one long 7 hour date. No, it's got to be chopped up. So 7 hours over 11 times of exposure on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, phone call, taught the class, lunch and learn.
That's awesome.
Phone call. 7-11.
That is a 3-day event right there. That's right there.
Actually, we did one on that about a year ago. Myself and Chris Johnstone. Yeah. So 7-11-4. That's a powerful, because you know what that did? That takes all the pressure off of, dude. I did a presentation. I thought I knocked their socks off, and I'm still not getting business from it. Well. Of course you're not. You haven't hit the 7-11-4 yet. And as soon as you know, as soon as you hit that, it's like you can't go 1 mile when it's 10 miles to the water hole. You got to go 10 miles.
Hi, thanks for enjoying Loan Officer Breakfast Club here on YouTube. I just wanted to drop in and remind you that if you're a newer loan officer and you're trying to get to that 2 or 3 deals a month, or if you're seasoned and you're trying to get from 50 to 60 or 60 to 80, Mortgage Marketing Animals has you covered. We've got the full gambit from start to finish, top to bottom. Everything you need is at mortgagemarketinganimals.com. There's a reason that mortgagemarketinganimals.com is the #1 mortgage coaching platform in the country. So check it out, mortgagemarketinganimals.com.
Yeah, but dude, I went a mile. No, I get it. And now you go 9 more and there's the water.
You know something that I tell the story, and I remember this is like we can wrap up that. I know we're over time here. 2009, 2010. When the mortgage meltdown, this event called me up and said, "Hey man, I was living in San Diego. Do you wanna come here speak in Atlanta?" And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" "Oh, it's a loan officer event." I say, "Okay. Are you paying me to go there?" "No." Are you paying for the hotel?" "No." "What's your speaking fee?" "No." I say, so I'm thinking, right?
Wait. You left one thing out. Wait, you left one thing out.
Yeah.
No, hold on. And you cannot sell. You could not sell.
Right.
That's it. Yeah, you can't
so
sell.
You can't sell. You gotta pay your airfare, pay hotel, 3 days. And I'm like, my gut feeling goes, no. But that's something 1% said, the little voice, do it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So I fly there, do my talk. In the end, this guy comes in, named Carl White. Shook my hand and said, "Bro, that was amazing. Can you do a class for my group? I have," at that time we said something like 100,000 emails, my biggest training company, mortgage market. I'm like, okay. Bro, from that, because of Carl, I have documented probably 30, 40 presentations, coaching clients. Yesterday, check this out. By the way, this is 2010. This is 2010, right? Check this out. We are 15 years later. Last night, I came home from New York. I was working with a loan officer because knew me from this. 15 years later, because I said yes, and Carl shook my hand. 15 years later, to the last night I came from New York. I was putting this presentation on my plane, jet lag, well, have a talk tomorrow, right? Frank was texting me 15 years later. Now, do I know that 15 years ago, if I go to Atlanta, I'm going to meet Carl? No. I don't know. Right? You don't, dude, you don't know. That's the part we don't know. But we have to show up, we have to deliver, and we have to be all in to serve people. If you serve people at the highest level, dude, you're going to win.
Actually, I remember that like it was yesterday. And I did not walk up to you, by the way, and say that was amazing. I'll never forget this.
No, I think you did.
No, wait, oh no,
No,
I walked
come
up.
on.
Wait, no. I walked up to you, and I remember this. I walked up to you and I said, "Who are you? Why have I never heard of you before?" That was amazing. I was like,
Thank you.
who is this guy? And I was just blown away. I'll never forget that. Yeah. So, by the way, it was standing room only, and I was standing in the back of the room that he was in. It was. I remember that too.
Do I have time for my story? One more minute?
Oh,
Absolutely.
We've blown it to hell already.
No,
What the hell?
Come on, let's go.
So this one is heartfelt.
We started drinking. We might as well finish the keg here. So.
Cancel the coffee, get a glass of wine, So here, sometimes we're doing all this work and you feel like we're not creating the impact you want to create, right? Sometimes anybody felt the way that you put in work and then it's not paying off. Yeah. So I'm a dad. So I have 2 kids, an 8 and a 6-year-old. And I'm in a phase now where sometimes it's all about the mom. Because sometimes my wife is cooking and I'm doing nothing and the kids want something, they go straight to my wife. And I'm like, totally ignore me, right? And I'm like, because my dad was never involved in my life, I tried to be involved. My mom was my number 1 role model in conditional love, so I tried to love my kids. And I'm like, man, am I doing a good job? I'm really asking myself this question. Am I doing a good job? So 2 weekends ago, we go to Asheville to celebrate 11 years of married, me and my wife and the kids. And I live in South Carolina here, where I live. We don't see homeless. And when you go to Asheville downtown, a lot of homeless, unfortunately. So we walk down the street, and my 6-year-old say, "Hey, Daddy, is it a homeless?" I say, "Yeah, buddy, it's a homeless." Now, my 8-year-old, Sophia, she already know what homeless is. She goes, "Daddy, please give him money. Please give him money." And I said, "No, honey, I don't like to give money because if you give money, he might buy drugs. I might give clothes or food." She goes, "So I want to do something." So we go to the restaurant, and I could see her like this, thinking. She goes, "I want to do something about it. We order the food, and there's some leftovers. She raised her hand, called the waitress, "I need a box." And I'm watching this, now I'm going to watch. She packed everybody, she packed perfectly. She grabbed the box, I'm going to give to him. And now we're going back to the streets, and it's kind of getting dark, and I'm kind of concerned because I don't know how the homeless, no teeth, is going to take it. And this little 8-year-old girl go up, "Here, sir, give the food." And huge smile. He said, "Thank you, lady." And she came running next to me and say, "Daddy, that makes my heart happy." And at that moment I realized, yes, I am a good dad. Because for me, that's what matters. So if you think sometimes like in your career, you're doing stuff, you're putting love, energy, you're not creating the impact you want, I'm telling you, you're helping people get their homes, you're helping people fulfill their dreams. So thank you.
Hey, you want to hear a story kind of like that, Roberto?
Yes.
I was in the car with my son and one of my daughters. My son was probably 12. My daughter was 10. And we come up and there's a guy holding up a sign, "We'll work for food," kind of thing, right? Here in my town. And my daughter said, "Boy, life's just unfair sometimes," or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And my 12-year-old son, said, "Lexi, let me tell you something. Everybody's equal until somebody makes a decision." Everybody's equal until somebody makes a decision. And I said, what do you mean by that? I mean, this is a 12-year-old little boy saying this, right? Where the hell did you read this at or get this from, right? And he said, well, one person said no to drugs and one person said yes to drugs, and now they're no longer equal. Or one person decided to do something and the other decided not to do something. Like they said, one decided, hey, I'm going to go to school, and one decided, I'm not. So it's not that they made a bad decision to do something, they just didn't do anything. And so if you walk forward and I decide to stay still, we're no longer equal. Now you're ahead because of your decision to move forward and my decision to stay where I'm at. And I just thought that was just, I said,
So
where'd you get?
powerful.
Yes, it was such a wise, totally different message, from what your daughter, because I believe he's not entirely true. Because my dad used to tell me I get frustrated with people sometimes, or an individual sometimes, and he said, "Son, you can't put 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound sack." In other words, not everybody is equal, truly, right? They're not, right? They're not. But I just thought that really made a statement to me when my boy said that. It's like, I need to make sure that I'm deciding each and every day to move forward with my progress, because just the fact of doing nothing is a decision. It's a decision to do nothing.
100%.
Yeah. And so that was a very impactful,
Thanks for sharing that, buddy. Thanks for
yeah.
sharing. And I'm sorry. Thanks so much for that. We went. I know I went long today, but I appreciate this conversation so much, guys. Thanks so much for the love. I appreciate that invitation, Carl, Frank, Steve. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Thank you, Roberto. It's always a pleasure. We'll get you back on soon. I think there's going to be several podcasts that are now going to come flying out of Marketing Animals.
I got to go sit out by the fire pit for a little bit and just kind of process all this, man. There's a lot of good
I
stuff.
know. And then of course we end with the tear jerker story of your daughter. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wonderful time. Thank you, brother. And everybody, let's get to it, man. We'll be back tomorrow. Owen Lee will be here. You guys have a fantastic day. Go get them, guys.
Thanks so much, guys.
Take this stuff, apply it today. We will email you the slides. Do not panic. You guys have a great day. We'll see you later. Adios.
For hanging in there with us, everybody. Have a great afternoon.